Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only Animation Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with another series for you guys, which is gonna be what if Naruto was neglected by his family and made a slave seal? And yeah, guys, this is gonna be really OP of a series, so hopefully, you guys will like it. And yeah, guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please, guys, do so. It would be very helpful to me as I want to reach 20k subscribers, and you guys subscribing would be really appreciated. So without any further ado, let us start the video. So now let us begin the story as a 8-year-old Naruto who was at the moment looking towards a scroll in front of him. This was our protagonist of our story, Uzumaki Naruto, who at the age of 6 was looking towards his scroll, and then his eyes went towards the back of the house where Minato, Kushina as well as his so-called little siblings Menma and Mito were training. As Kushina speak up, alright Menma, that's how you make the Rasengan. Now try it even harder as Menma nodded at that, making a shadow clone and making a shallow Rasengan. Well, Minato, I must say that Menma and Mito are truly geniuses. Who knows, Jiraiya Sensei might be right about them. As Minato laughed a little, but of course, they are my children. As Naruto simply ignored them. Honestly, even though he was a bit ignored by his family because they are mainly focused on Menma and Mito. But Naruto was different from them from the very young age. He has little interest in the flashy jutsus like the fire style or even the Rasengan. His main focus lies on the seals. They were so, you can say, intriguing for Naruto, or like they were calling upon him. The library of the Uzumaki clan was open to him, so he always passed through several seals. Even Kushina ignored it, thinking that he would not understand anything, and seals are not that dangerous. Well, at least she believed that. While on the other hand, Naruto has already gone through so many seals as his level was increasing. At the moment, as Naruto was looking towards one particular seal where there was a single reference about the Shikifujin and other seals, as Naruto simply smiled at that and started to make his own seals. He was a prodigy. He was a prodigy in seals. As now, let us have a small time skip. As a 12-year-old, Naruto was looking towards his final seal with a smile on his face. This was a perfect seal. Naruto dare say that no one has ever come up with such kind of seal. There are many techniques in the shinobi world like Shikifujin and other techniques, but this, Naruto believed that was a perfect seal that anyone could ever make. Once applied to any place, even to a place, to a person, Naruto can siphon off their potential, their techniques, their knowledge, everything about them. Once implanted into someone, he can for the person forever be. It was like a slave seal, and that person will ever be under the control of Naruto. As Naruto simply smiled at that, it was time for him to test the seal. As Naruto simply smiled and looking towards his little siblings, Naruto's smile widened even further as Naruto walked towards them. As Mito at the moment was training in Taijutsu against Menma. As Menma, stop, loser, what are you doing here? As Naruto simply smiled at that, well, I wanted to see my level after all. We already have joined the academy, but there's still time. So I wanted to see what these whole techniques differ from the academy techniques. As Mito laughed at that. So you are jealous of our power. Well then, allow me to show you the gap between both of us. With that, Mito disappeared and appeared in front of Naruto. As Naruto simply smiled and moved a little bit back. This was the seal he has created previously. A slowing seal for his perception, as well as a seal that allows him to dodge dangerous attacks just like the Ultra Instinct, making his instincts even higher. As Naruto casually dodged the attack and put his hand on the punch of Mito. Unknown to Mito, the seal was already implanted. As Naruto started to dodge, he could already feel it. His chakra levels are steadily increasing. As Naruto simply smiled at that, Mito was a bit confused. For a moment, she felt a bit weak, but that feeling quickly disappeared. Well, you were able to dodge that. Well then, why don't you? But before she could say anything, Menma said, alright Mito, let me show this loser what true level of power truly is. With that, Menma appeared in front of Naruto with the Rasengan, a half-baked Rasengan in his hand. After all, he did not want to kill Naruto, but Naruto simply grabbed the arm of Menma when Menma tried to slam the Rasengan into him, putting the slave seal on him as well. As Naruto simply smiled at that, and with that, Naruto said, well, I already know what the difference is. With that, Naruto started to walk away. Both Menma and Mito were a bit confused. Their older brother was always doing those strange seals and things like that never was there for the training. Even their parents ignored him, giving him some scrolls on the ceiling, seeing that he had talent for that. Other than that, he was always ignored as Naruto simply walked away, but no one noticed a huge smile that came to Naruto's face as Naruto finally appeared in his room. As Naruto looked towards his hand, he could already feel it, the connection between Menma, Mito, as Naruto closed his eyes, the instincts that are present in Menma and Mito about the techniques, about the knowledge of taijutsu, the battle instincts, as well as all the hand signs of the technique, the Rasengan knowledge, as Naruto moved his hand, as a huge Rasengan was formed in his hand, as Naruto smirked at that. His main plan was to put a gigantic seal over the shinobi world. Once he has done it, the potential of the whole shinobi world will belong to him, Uzumaki Naruto, and no one can break this seal. Once implanted, it does not affect the body, but rather the soul itself. As Naruto burst into laughter with that, now let us have a small time skip. 4 years has passed, and now Naruto, Menma, and Mito are at the age of 16, and it was time for graduation. In this time, Naruto has already implanted several slave seals all across the academy. All the children that are there, present there, of his own age, Naruto has already implanted the seal, and their potential was already being siphoned by Naruto. His own powers were increasing. One good thing Naruto improved on the seal was that it can now even get the Kekkei, as Naruto simply smiled at that as three Tomo were rotating in his eyes, but then they changed into the Byakugan as Naruto's smile finally faded a little bit as a frown came to his face. He was already able to mark Kushina Uzumaki. The woman was Uzumaki, but Naruto was able to achieve it. After all, she was not that attentive, but there was only one person that was giving Naruto a bit of headache. That was none other than Namikaze Minato, the fourth Hokage. The man was far too cautious, even in the home. The man was too dangerous, too sensitive to things like seal. After all, Minato's flying Thunderguard technique is such that the seal can be planted with a single touch. That was the reason Naruto, whenever he tried to plant the seal, there was always a feeling, a sense of danger that Naruto has gained after he has taken the talents of so many shinobi across the Konoha, just like the danger sense for Spider-Man, and that told him that if he dared to do something like this, he will definitely be caught, and that would not end well for Naruto. So Minato was the only person who did not have this seal in the whole Namikaze house. While on the other hand, Naruto was becoming stronger and stronger. He has already implanted the seal on Guy, which means that he already has the knowledge, and his physique was also becoming stronger thanks to all this chakra coming to his body. So he already had the knowledge of 8 inner gates, though he had to be work hard for that. And finally, it was day for the graduation as Iruka finally arrived to the room as he looked towards all of the people with a smile on his face. Alrighty, so it is time for your graduation exam. So I hope that all of you will be able to pass and pass on the Will of Fire of Konoha to the Shinobi world. With that, Iruka gave a small speech, and finally it was time as Iruka said, Alright, let us begin. As the exam began, as Iruka looked towards Naruto, Alright Naruto, you have to perform these three techniques. As Naruto simply nodded at that, he already completed the hand signs. With that, the clone, the transformation, and the substitution technique was performed. As Naruto also went through some hand signs, with that, a gigantic fireball came out of his mouth, just like Sasuke Uchiha. And yeah, Naruto have already planted the seal on him as well. As Naruto started to walk away, as Sudoku said, alright, it seemed that most of the people are able to graduate. I just hope that they would be able to pass the Jonin examination. As Sudoku simply sighed, in the Hokage office, Minato was looking towards the crystal ball along with the third Hokage and the Elder Council that are present there. Well, it seemed that most of the progeny of the clan heads are able to pass the graduation exam, and it is time for our Konoha to become stronger. As third Hokage simply nodded at that, this is a special class, so we have to make more of our Jonin who are more talented, give these students more knowledge. As Minato simply nodded at that, as the Jonins already have arrived and Minato have already dedicated all the teams. As Minato frowned a little, he has already decided to put Menma, Mito along with Jirai Sensei, along with that Uchiha boy. After all, the relationship with the Uchiha clan has to be sustained, otherwise there would be trouble later in the line. Minato has really worked hard for the good relationship between the Uchiha and the Konoha. That was the reason he wanted to put Sasuke with Menma and Mito as a sign of a goodwill under the Jiraiya of the Sani tutelage. As Minato looked towards Naruto, nowhere to put him, as Minato was wondering, after all, this was an odd number and he had to think something of it. But before he says something, the Head Hokage spoke up. Well, Minato, I do have an idea. Why don't you? I have heard that Naruto is good in seals. Why don't you let Kushina tutelage him? After all, Kushina has been a house wife for a long time, and since Menma and Mito have already decided to take part in the missions, let Kushina join as a Jonin sensei. She is good at seals and Naruto is also good at seals. This is a good way for a mother-son bonding. As Minato thought it for some time, they have been ignoring Naruto for the training of Menma and Mito, but it cannot be helped. After all, Menma and Mito are the Jinchurikis of Konoha. Even if they are not the children of destiny, they always leak too much of Kyuubi chakra in the training and they have to be careful around them. So if Naruto as a child were to train with them, it would always be dangerous. As Minato sighed, well, at least it is a good idea. They can show support to Naruto with this. As he simply nodded at that, let me talk with Kushina for that. As Third Hokage simply nodded at that, but unknown to Minato, Third's eyes simply snapped red a little bit, but it returned back to normal. After all, Third Hokage, along with the Elder Council, has long been planted with the seal of Naruto. As Naruto had made changes with the seal, it was like a parasite seal. Whenever one person who have a seal were to come in contact with the other person who did not have, then the seal can be transferred from one person to another. So almost half of Konoha was already under the control of Naruto and he was taking their power and potential for himself. As Naruto simply smiled at that, as he said, after all, he did not want to be a part of a team, and a person who is already under the control of his seal was a good person, in Naruto's eyes at least. Naruto have grand plans. The problem with the shinobi world is that the all the shinobis who can use chakra, even if all the five villages as well as the minor villages were to come together, there would not be more than 200,000 shinobi in the shinobi world. But the potential of the shinobi world is that there are millions, if not billions, of people in the shinobi world, and all of them have the potential to use chakra, but only these 200,000 people use chakra. That is a problem for Naruto. Even if he planted seal all over the shinobi world, he could only take potential and power from these people of only 200,000, and Naruto did not like that. All the shinobi world have to use chakra. Only if they use chakra, even if they did not have too much potential, Naruto can always siphon the chakra from them and take it for himself and make himself stronger. So this is the goal for Naruto. Let all of the shinobi world use chakra. That is a noble goal, at least Naruto believed that. With that, Naruto smiled as finally it was time, as Kushina has already agreed to Minato's proposal for joining and becoming a Jonin once again and taking Naruto as an apprentice. After all, she was already under the control of Naruto. Even though Naruto do not actively control everyone, but no one who have been implanted with this seal can hurt Naruto, and they will always work in the favor of Naruto subconsciously. As Naruto simply smiled at that. As Naruto at the moment was sitting in the academy, and finally the Jonin sensei one by one started to come as Menma and Mito. Finally, Jiraiya arrived. Alright, my godchildren, your favorite godfather is here. As give me a hug as Menma and Mito rushes towards Jiraiya. As Jiraiya laughed a little. Well, Uchiha boy, you seem to be my student as well. Do not worry, I am Jiraiya of the Toad. But before he can say anything, Jiraiya, shut up. As Jiraiya looked back to see that Kushina has also arrived with her Jonin vest, which surprises Menma and Mito. Mom, what are you doing here? As Mito spoke up, as Kushina smiled, well, you have already trained hard and now it is time for me to return back to active duty. She was no longer the Jinchuriki, so she really liked being a shinobi. And she can go outside as well. As I said, Naruto, you are my apprentice. This shocked everyone. Even Jiraiya frowned a little. He did not know about it as he looked towards Naruto, who stood up and started to walk towards her. But Mito stopped him. Mom, why are you doing this? You should be training us rather than this loser. He even ran away when we were sparring against each other. So why are you training him? As Kushina simply looked towards Mito. Mito, that is enough. I have already trained you mostly. Now your training is up to your godfather. He will train you in the way of shinobi. We have already taught you everything we can. Now the next step is for you to have experience, and Naruto is your brother. You should pay him more respect. He's good at seals, and I will teach him all the seals of the Uzumaki clan, even though I have tried to teach you as well. But you simply did not have the talent for that. As Mito frowned a little, even Menma was not exactly happy about it, even though they do not hate their older brother, they just believe that he is weak, far too weak compared to them, as well as he was always busy with those boring seals, nothing compared to the Rasengan in their hand. As Naruto simply ignored them and simply walked towards Kushina. Well, mother, why don't we leave now? After all, there's still time. As Kushina simply nodded at that, as Jiraiya said, well boy, as Jiraiya put his hand on the shoulder of Naruto, I must say that you also have good potential. Seals are also good. I'm a seal master. So if you have anything to worry about, you can tell me. As Naruto, unknown to Jiraiya, had a huge smile on his face, Jiraiya, the fool, has touched him. Which means, as Naruto's eyes glowed for a second, as the seal was already planted on the hand of Jiraiya and sink into the very soul of Jiraiya, Jiraiya shuddered a little as if something cold has passed through his body. He was a bit confused, but decided not to pay too much attention to it. And once again, I will tell you, Naruto do not actively control everyone with the seal, but anyone planted with the seal cannot hurt Naruto, and they will always think in the favor of Naruto subconsciously. So Jiraiya, even though he was planted with the seal, no new ideas like Koto Matsukami came to his mind, but he simply gave a smile to Naruto. So do not worry, if you have anything to learn, you can come to me. I will even teach you about the sage mode. That is a good technique. And I have not even taught it to Menma and Mito. Maybe you can train together in the art of the sage mode. As Menma frowned a little as he said, Godfather. But Jiraiya did not say anything as Naruto simply smiled at that. As Naruto simply walked away with Kushina. While on the other hand, Menma and Mito frowned a little but did not say anything. As he said, alright, Godfather, why don't we go to train? I want to become stronger. As Jiraiya simply nodded at that, well then, let us go. As Naruto has already given instructions through the seal to train hard and as hard as you can. All the children who has passed when Naruto has already planted the seal on all the people are training hard like maniacs, trying to exhaust their potential to become stronger and stronger. And the upper echelon of Konoha were really happy about it, especially Minato, even though he felt it something was off, but he did not pay too much attention. After all the graduates, as well as many of the Jonin and Chunin, are really working hard to become stronger. Maybe they have deep love for Konoha, Minato thought inwardly. While on the other hand, the third Hokage and the other elders did not see anything wrong with it. After all, even they themselves have been learning new things lately. While on the other hand, Naruto finally arrived to the training ground. As Naruto looked towards Kushina, well, mother, I want to see my level, so why don't we have a spar? As Kushina smiled at that, alright Naruto, show me your true level. As Naruto simply smiled at that, as Naruto said, alright then, gravitational seal, release. The resistance seal, release. With that, several seals started to glow on Naruto's body and disappeared, and Kushina did not see anything wrong with it. After all, Naruto was learning these seals from a very young age, and she did not saw anything wrong with it. As Naruto disappeared from the place with blinding speed, as Kushina quickly brought out her arms to block the attack as she was sent flying, as Naruto once again disappeared using the Taijutsu style of Guy Sensei as he started to attack Kushina as Kushina was quickly pushed back as she quickly brought out her chakra chains as Naruto simply smirked at that. He also brought out his chakra chains even though he did not inherit it, but once he has planted the seal on Kushina, he had already gained all of her abilities. As his chakra chains quickly tore apart that of Kushina and rushes towards her as Kushina once again started to go through Hansai's water style water dragon jutsu as a huge water dragon rushes towards Naruto as the cloud of Kushina appeared releasing lightning into the water dragon as both attacks rushes towards Naruto as Naruto simply smiled at that as he put his palm towards the attack as Byakugan shined for a second in Naruto's eyes as a bomb of pure power rushes toward the water dragon, destroying it as Naruto moved, as he had a huge Rasengan in his hand, slamming it into the ground, sending Kushina flying. As Naruto stopped, this was boring. Kushina was a elite Jonin level. Well, she was once a cage level, but because of the loss of the power of the QB, even though she survived, but she lost most of her power. So she can be said to be one half step into the cage level now. As Kushina once again stood up and started to go through hand signs as a huge fire dragon rushes towards Naruto, as Naruto also started to go through hand signs as a huge waterfall technique rushes toward the fire dragon. As finally, as Kushina finally stood up as she looked towards Naruto, I must say that Naruto, you have really become stronger thanks to the effect of the seal that is planted on Kushina. She can never doubt Naruto on anything, so she did not even thought how Naruto knew all these skills and how he was able to overpower her and where did his immense chakra came from. Thanks to the effect of the seals, as Naruto simply smiled at that. Well, mother, I want to pay a visit to Uzushio Gakure. I want to see if there are anything left in those lands. As Kushina frowned a little but nodded nonetheless, you are an Uzumaki who's learning about the all art of sealing, so there should be nothing wrong with you paying a visit to our Uzumaki village. I will ask for a mission from Minato. He will definitely agree. Now, in the Hokage office, Minato looked towards Kushina with a frown on his face. Kushina, why do you want to pay a visit to the Uzumaki village? For a long time, since Minato know about Kushina, she had never wanted to go to Uzushio. After all, nothing is left there, only the ruins, and she did not want to feel any pain after going there, so she did not want to go there, and now she's saying that she wants a mission for that village. After all, there's no mission there, those are simply destroyed lands. As Minato frowned a little, he was confused about it, and his instincts were telling him that something was off. As Kushina simply shook his head, I just want to see what is left there. Even Naruto is a bit curious about it. So I decided to humor him as Minato frowned a little. Kushina, are you alright? As Kushina nodded at that. Well, Minato, I just believe that we have wronged Naruto. You already know that we have trained Menma and Mito for a long time and we did not pay too much attention to Naruto. Well, he still had access to the library and trained in the art of sealing, but I believe that we should try to make it up to him. Minato still felt that something was off but decided to agree to that. After all, he himself believed that they should have paid more focus on Naruto, but those were troubling times after the attack of the QB, so much to focus on, and he, as the Hokage, was already too busy. So he simply agreed to that. Alright, Kushina, I will agree to that. But you have to take Kakashi with you. As Kushina frowned a little but nodded nonetheless. As Minato simply nodded. Alright, you can go on this C-rank mission on the land of waves, and afterward you can go towards the land of the Uzushio. After all, you have to pass through the wave mission, so this will be a good experience for Naruto as well. As Kushina agreed to that. As Naruto looked towards the gates of the village where Kakashi and Kushina were present, Naruto has already planted the seal on Kakashi long ago, so Naruto do not care who comes with him, as all three of them rushes in the direction of the village. After all, they have a mission to protect a bridge builder who will meet them in the midway. As they finally look towards the bridge builder, as Kakashi said, well, we do not have time to wait, so I will grab him. With that, Kakashi grabbed the bridge builder who was a bit confused, but all three of them disappeared from there with blinding speed. In the midway, Naruto looked towards the puddle as he simply scoffed at that as he released a gigantic black flame from his eyes which completely engulfed the puddle. From there, two Chunin appeared, but thanks to the Amaterasu flames, they were completely destroyed. Naruto do not have time for this. He want to reach to the Uzushio as soon as possible. So he had to complete this mission on way. While on the other hand, Kushina and Kakashi were looking towards the scene like there was nothing wrong. Like Naruto did not use a forbidden technique. Rather, he used a D-rank technique, nothing else. While on the other hand, Naruto and all three of them quickly disappeared from there with another burst of speed. In the midway, Naruto looked towards Kushina. Alright, it seemed that we have a bit of trouble. As Naruto looked ahead to see that Zabuza Momochi was standing there. As Zabuza said, so it seemed that it is Kakashi Hatake who has come here. No wonder the brothers did not came here. As Kakashi said, it's Zabuza Mamoji. He's the errant missing ninja from the Mist Village. As Naruto looked towards Zabuza with a narrowed eyes, this guy has good potential. He's worthy enough for him to plant his seal on him. While on the other hand, Naruto looked towards a specific place, while Zabuza may be worthy, the other most worthy person was that guy who is hiding there. And Naruto could feel it. This guy was a Kekkei user, and that is an even further good thing for Naruto. The most he liked to plant his seal are those person who have Kekkei like that of the Hyuga clan as well as that of the Uchiha clan. Naruto could feel it after planting so many seals on the Uchiha clan member. Once he planted the seal on Sasuke, it quickly went to that of Fugaku, Makoto, even Uchiha Itachi. That guy was also quite careful, but he always let his guard down around his little brother. And once you touch someone like that, and it is all over. One touch and it is over. That is the very basics of Naruto's seal. And Itachi was already planted with the seal, and thanks to Itachi, it went to Shisui and to other many people. So many Mangekyo combined together. Naruto has already achieved the Eternal Eye, but something was off. If only the members of the Senju clan were still alive, Naruto sighed at that. He could have achieved the power of the Mokitan, but nothing was all gone. He could always feel a bit of connection to Menma. Something was inside Menma that was evolving his power of the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan even further, but it is always so vague and the connection was not stable enough, like something was cutting it off. So that was the problem, as Naruto believed that this problem can be solved once he summoned the first Hokage. As Naruto simply smiled at that, he has already gained the knowledge who first Hokage truly was, something inside a first Hokage, the very definition of the young power Sage has expired, not to want to achieve that, and he believed that once he combined his yin power, which he has gained from all the members of the Uchiha clan Sharingan, with the yang power of Hashirama Senju, then he himself would be equal to all of the Senju clan member, and he would be able to achieve something new, something more powerful than his eternal eye. It's not to disappear from there, as he has already arrived behind Haku. You should not be hiding here, as Haku quickly jumped back and threw several senbans towards Naruto. As Zabuza realized that his helper was already caught, so he decided to attack Naruto, but Kushina and Kakashi quickly stopped him as the battle between these fighters has already begun, but they were easily able to overpower Zabuza. He was simply not powerful enough. Within two attacks, Naruto has already taken down Haku and has already planted his seal on Haku, while on the other hand Zabuza was also taken down as Naruto also planted his seal on Zabuza as both of them stood up. My lord, what do you require of us? As Naruto simply smiled at that. I believe that the rebellion in the Mist Village is already over. Why don't you guys return back and give huge hugs to all the members of the Mist Village from their good friend of Konoha. As Naruto smiled at that, once these two people return back to the Mist Village, then this parasite seal will definitely spread across the high-ranking members of the Mist Village. So once someone has done this, then everything would be under the control of Naruto. As Naruto simply smiled at that, these are the opportunities he requires. Most of the potential of Konoha is already in the hand of Naruto and the other people. He can always plant his seal later. But now it is time for him to expand his circle. He required the power of all the shinobi world, and for that, the other villages are definitely necessary. As Naruto smiled at that, the Mist Village is the one who has the most Kekkei in the shinobi world, and Naruto want to have all the Kekkei and all the potential and power that is present in these villages for himself. As Naruto simply nodded at that, as Zabuza simply nodded and took Haku to return back to the Mist Village, while on the other hand, Naruto has already arrived to the Wave Village. As Naruto looked towards Kakashi. Kakashi, go bring me everything that Gato guy have. As Kakashi simply nodded at that and disappeared from there. Now Naruto was actively controlling everyone, even though most of the time he do not do it because that would require too much focus. But since they are alone and Naruto is only controlling Kakashi and Kushina, who seem to see nothing wrong with anything that Naruto was doing at the moment. So it is like that of the Uchiha Shisui's Koto Masukami technique, as Kakashi has already arrived on the base of Gato and it was completely one-sided, as Kakashi took over all the property and everything that Gato possessed and bring it to Naruto, as Naruto simply smiled at that. Well, Kakashi, I want you to do something for me, as he looked towards Kushina as well, as he brought out several scrolls, make shadow clones and surround the whole wave country. As both Kushina and Kakashi looked towards each other, especially Kushina, as she made a single hand sign. With that, hundreds of clones appeared and started to rush in the direction of the borders of the wave country, and they have already took the scroll with them. While on the other hand, Kakashi also made 5 clones. They also went in the different direction, as Naruto closes his eyes and put his hand and decided to sit down on the ground, as Kushina and Kakashi has already arrived on the borders of the wave country and opened their respective scrolls, as the seals started to spread on the very ground. As Naruto started to go through hand sign, this was the technique he has evolved from his seal even further, and once the seal is spread everywhere, a circle like a barrier was formed. As if Naruto said, "Now it is time." With that, Naruto slammed his hand into the ground as a sealing circle appeared, as the whole country of the wave started to glow for a second. Everyone was confused. What is going on here? But no one knew that what Naruto has done, and once Naruto has completed it, Naruto opened his eyes. He could already feel it, the connection with everyone. But the problem is that everyone here is a civilian. But Naruto smiled at that. This was the grand plan. It seemed that the seal was perfect, and he can use it like a gigantic seal barrier, using it in a way that anyone present in the barrier now has the seal of Naruto inside of their souls. As Naruto simply smiled for his future plans for everyone in the shinobi world to activate chakra and use it actively and learn techniques and make techniques in the future. This was required. Naruto's plans do not lie in the shinobi world. He want to spread his power, take over planets after planets, and one day stand at the pinnacle of the universe, become the emperor of the universe himself. As Naruto smiled at that, he may not know about the Usushi clan, but he does know that the planet itself has natural energies, which means that there are planets out there made up of pure power, and Naruto can take that power for himself. Once he planted his seals at those planets, he will have connection with them, and he can subtract all the power that is present on those planets. And if they have inhabitants, then it is even good. As Naruto smiled at that as he looked towards his mother and Kakashi, who has already arrived here, looking a bit pale, but already their chakra was recovering. As Naruto smiled at that, wait for a little bit, and afterward we are returning towards the Uzushio. As Kuchina simply nodded at that, "Alright son, why don't you take some rest and your mother will bring something good to you." As Naruto simply nodded at that, as Kushina went to the bridge builder house to make some ramen for everyone. After some time, Naruto decided to leave the Wave Village. After all, he can give them knowledge of, you can say, activating their chakra, but that would be troublesome, and Naruto has to wait a little bit. Once all the 5 villages are under the control of Naruto, then he can start his grand plan to take over the complete shinobi world, and he would have all the natural energy of the planet as well as the potential of every inhabitant that is present in the shinobi world under his control. As Naruto smiled at that, he could only think of the immense chakra he could get from it. After all, there are around 2 or 3 billion people in the entirety of the shinobi world, and Naruto would have the power of all of these people for himself. And Naruto finally arrived to the country of the Uzumaki. As Naruto looked towards the land was completely destroyed, but Naruto was not here to reminisce about his ancestors or anything like that. He was here for one thing and one thing only, that was knowledge and power that resides in the members of the Uzumaki clan. As Naruto's eyes narrowed at that, "Alright Kakashi, did you brought what I asked you to?" As Kakashi simply nodded at that. While Naruto believed that he has already learned everything about seals and there could be no other person who knows more about the seal, but the problem is that the heritage that is gained from the Uzumaki village is already limited. Even Mito Uzumaki did not have the complete heritage of the Uzumaki clan when she came to Konoha. After all, even though she was a princess, but she was already married off to Senju clan, and she herself were made it up when she was only 16, so her knowledge was also a bit limited. Naruto required the ancient knowledge of the Uzumakis, and he can only get it from the Uzumakis as well. As Naruto looked towards Kushina, mother, do what I have already told you to do. As Kushina simply nodded as hundreds of shadow clones appeared and rushes in the direction of the Uzumaki village. There were many graves that were present here, as well as only the remains of the people of the Uzumaki clan that are present here. As Kushina quickly brought all the biological material that is required for the jutsu. As Naruto simply looked towards Kakashi, as Kakashi nodded at that, as he opened a scroll. From there, the bandits' unconscious bodies appeared. As Naruto smiled at that. Alright then, let us begin. As Naruto go through hand signs and slam his hand together, Edo Tensei. With that, the body started to roar in pain as the bodies turned into the form of the Uzumaki clan members. As Naruto has only used civilians and forcefully activated their chakra, so the chakra was pitiful, and these people did not have their true power. Hell, they cannot even beat a genin if it really come to it. The old ancestors of the Uzumaki clan finally opened their eyes. They were confused. They were already dead even before the destruction of the Uzumaki clan. They were even the elders of Mito Uzumaki, so they were that old. They were sealed away in a small dimension that was made in the Uzumaki village. Only the members of the pure blood Uzumaki clan can enter into the grave. That was the reason no one knew about it. But Kushina was a member of the Uzumaki clan and she knew about it. But she did not told anyone about it previously. But under the instructions of Naruto, she has to get the biological material that is required for the technique. As Naruto simply smiled at that, well, my dear ancestors, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and this is my mother, Uzumaki Kushina. As one of the member that has been resurrected thanks to the Edo Tensei spoke up, Kushina, is that you? As Kushina looked toward this person, this was her own mother. As she smiled at that, mother, it has been some time. Allow me to introduce my son to you. This is Uzumaki Naruto. As she smiled at that, it was good seeing her daughter and her grandson. As Naruto looked towards the woman, he could tell that she was around a Jonin level in life. Nothing to be worried about. As Naruto simply gave a nod towards her. Well, I have mainly summoned you here thanks to the help of the second Hokage's Edo Tensei technique, a forbidden technique. But I have mainly summoned you here because I want your sealing knowledge. As one of the grand elders of the Uzumaki clan stepped forward as he looked towards Naruto, boy, something is off with you. I can tell that. Your soul, something is really off with you. As Naruto looked towards him with a raised eyebrow at that, oh, you can sense that. I never thought that there would be anyone who would be able to sense something like this. After all, this required the knowledge of the soul. As the Grand Elder frowned at that, he had died around 100 years before the destruction of the Uzumaki village. It is because he was the one who has created a forbidden technique that was known as the Shikifugen. I am the one who created a technique related to the soul, so I have deep connection with the souls. And there is something off with these other two people as well. You have taken control over their souls, if I'm not mistaken. This is a forbidden technique and you should not use it, especially against your own relatives. Looking towards Kushina, he frowned at that. Why have you summoned us here? If is it really because you want the heritage of the Uzumaki clan, then the Uzumaki are already destroyed. We can give you some of the knowledge on the scrolls, if that is what you want. As Naruto shook his head, you do not understand me, do you, my dear ancestors? I have merely summoned you because I want you all for myself, your power, your knowledge, everything about you. That is what I want. As the elder frowned at that, as another elder spoke up, you, boy, have gone too far. You are trying to control our souls as well. As the grand elder's eyes narrowed towards Naruto, boy, you may be a descendant of the Uzumaki, but you are not powerful enough. But before he could complete his sentence, Naruto activated his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and made a single hand gesture. With that, the immense pressure slammed over the shoulders of everyone. As Naruto simply shook his finger finger. You do not need to do anything, and this will be over soon. As Naruto looked towards Kakashi, who had already planted the scrolls everywhere, and the Uzumaki members were already at the center of it. Once again, before I have already mentioned, the seal is planted on the very soul rather than the body. Then it doesn't matter if they are members, if they are alive or in a form of Edo Tensei, the soul is present, therefore the seal can be planted. As Naruto simply smiled towards everyone. Now it is over. As the person who had made the Shikifujin tried to release the Edo Tensei, but it was already a bit too late for that. As Naruto activated his sealing barrier, as all the members of the Uzumaki groaned at that, they were summoned using the civilian sacrifices, which means that they do not have any chakra and they cannot use their true power. Otherwise, these are the masters of the sealing art. They would have come with anything to, you can say, attack Naruto. That was the reason Naruto was careful and did not use true power to summon them. They are like batteries for Naruto. As Naruto looked towards all of them, he cannot. All of them were already planted with the seal. As Naruto frowned at that. This was unexpected. He had already gained all the knowledge of the Uzumaki clan members, and he must say that these people were truly geniuses in the art of sealing so much knowledge. Even Naruto himself was at awe of the powers of these people. But one thing surprises Naruto. As Naruto looked towards them, previously he thought that the most he could get from these people would be that he would have the knowledge of the Uzumaki seals, but now it seemed that there is an unexpected bonus. At that, his Uzumaki bloodline has become even more purer, that even his hair started to turn into red, and he could feel that his eyes has also gained a lot of power, but there was still something missing. That's something that was required for the evolution of his eyes even further. As Naruto closes his eyes, now Naruto opened them. Once Naruto planted the seal, everything about the person belonged to Naruto. Naruto can siphon off their chakra to the point that nothing is left behind other than husk. But Naruto do not do that. He only take around 20% of the daily chakra generated by the people for himself on the daily basis. That is how his own chakra capacity increased. But these people, they are dead in the form of the Edo Tensei. They have infinite chakra, which means that Naruto can store them away. He can siphon off all the chakra if he so desire. The chakra itself is limited because they are dead. As Naruto burst into laughter, it seemed that he has found a bug in the techniques of the Edo Tensei. If they really have infinite chakra, then Naruto can take it infinitely. As these are members, around 500 or 1000 members that are present here, which means that Naruto's chakra level skyrocketed rapidly. And he started to siphon off their chakra and make them in an unconscious state and put them away. They are no longer useful to him other than a chakra battery, a gigantic chakra battery, but the chakra battery nonetheless. As Naruto burst into laughter, his chakra chains appeared from behind him. His chakra skyrocketed to the point that the whole land of the Uzushio started to shake rapidly. But unknown to Naruto, two eyes in the pure land has opened. Something was off. Several souls were summoned in the land of the living. But Sage of Six Paths frowned a little. If it is not related to his two children, then there's nothing to be worried about. He was worried about the resurrection of his mother. That was the main focus. But it seemed that the world is still in peace, which means that he can rest for now. The Sage of Six Paths closes his eyes, but that was something he would regret later on. But in the Shinobi world, Naruto looked towards Kushina and Kakashi. Now it is time for us to return back to Konoha because my grand plans are coming. Because my grand plans are gonna come true soon enough. With that, Naruto smiled towards Kushina and Kakashi as both of them smiled back towards Naruto. But hey guys, I'm gonna end this part here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, the like goal is 100 likes and 20 comments. And yeah guys, please leave at least comments in the comment section, because when you guys leave comments, it helps the video a lot and it give us new motivation and new ideas. So please guys, leave comments in the comment section and leave a like as well. So yeah guys, see you soon in the next video, and you can tell me in the comment section if you have new ideas about this video. And do not worry, I have not abandoned my previous video of the Usosuke clan powers. After this one, I will try to make the next part today. Hopefully it will be completed and I will be able to upload it. So yeah guys, see you soon. Peace.